Well, it's August 11th. This is a Beetle update. And as you can see, this thing is masked up and ready for primer. This has turned into a major project, much more than I expected. When I started, what I figured I would do is simply repair the areas where the paint had been damaged, layer them with some Bondo, get everything smooth, and then scuff the whole thing and then paint it. And what happened last weekend was that I was putting on some masking tape, you know, special yellow automotive tape, to prepare to prime the inside dashboard of the car. And when I went to reposition the tape, the paint that was on it, which is a respray from the 1980s, the paint came off with the tape. And at that point, I tested a few more areas and found that the 1980s tape or paint just was not adhered well to the car, and it all had to come off. So I've spent a lot of time removing this lousy paint. And I also had to redo the doors back there because I had already primered them, and when I put some tape on there to test it, sure enough, the primer and the paint underneath came off. So I had to strip those back again, right down to bare metal, smooth them out, and then get the epoxy primer on them. So yeah, this is a major project. I've got 130 hours into this so far, and this is where I am with it right now. So you can see there's a couple of areas with some paint left on them. This is original paint. That's well adhered to the car. It's not a problem. It was the primer and paint that was put on top of these that was bad. So I've created a little makeshift paint booth in my garage to try to do a decent job of it. Everything has been sanded. It has been cleaned with panel prep. I've done as much as I can, or as I'm willing to do, to prepare this car for paint. So the next step in a little while is to put the epoxy primer on it. Then I have to let that cure for several days. And then I have to scuff it and use some glazing putty to go over the body to smooth out the small differences in height between the metal and the original primer, which I'm guessing that is underneath or above it. You know, you want it perfectly smooth, so they have this special glazing putty you use. It's like a very thin Bondo. You put it over the whole thing, and then you just use a block sander, take it down. It's better to do that once than it is to use the primer filler that you can use. It's a heavy primer filler that you can sand. It's better to just do the putty once than to do the filler, primer filler 3, 4, 5 times trying to get it smooth. So that's where I am with it. I'm sure if any professional painters are looking at this, they're going to laugh at my masking job. I did the best I could with what I had to work with. So that's it. I'll post another update in a couple of days when I got the primer on it. The car will look much nicer than it does now. And I'm really looking forward to having this done. You got to keep your eye on the goal, the end result of a beautifully painted car and partially restored. But right now, it's just kind of sucking the life out of me. So that's it. Thanks for checking out my video. Subscribe if you like. Comment if you would. And have a nice day.